JHD, Millville, Atlantic City, a Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
The following program is paid for by The Locker Room with Billy Schwein. The opinions expressed are not those of Town Square Media or station advertisers.
Set, red 83.
Welcome to The Locker Room.
Vince Papali, welcome to The Locker Room.
I can smell it already, Billy. What's happening, buddy?
Von Hayes, welcome to The Locker Room with Billy Schwein.
Yeah, hey, Billy, how you doing out there?
Rich Gannon, welcome to The Locker Room, Rich.
Thanks, guys. It's great to be with you.
Great Bob McElwee, NFL referee.
Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Craig Berube. Craig, welcome to The Locker Room.
All right, thanks, Billy.
We have the real Pat Croce in The Locker Room.
Let me off the bench, Coach.
And now here's your host, Billy Schwein.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome into The Locker Room with Billy Schwein and Danny Ryan today. It's just the two of us. We got a lot to talk about, Danny Ryan. My opening wasn't as enthusiastic and as jovial as I always am and are.
It was not.
I'm not happy right now.
You need to bring the energy. I mean, listen, bad night last night to be a Philadelphia sports fan, but that was strange. That was obscure to hear you go, good morning, everybody. It wasn't
because
energy.
It's not. Look at our Eagles.
Yep.
Look at our Phillies.
Hey,
so much promising, so much promise going into both of these seasons. And where are we right now?
I guess we have the Flyers and Sixers season to look forward to.
Yesterday's text question was, are you nervous or confident going in? And a lot of people were confident. I was nervous. I was nervous from day one.
I had nervous excitement. I was ready for the game. I went to the game yesterday.
Were you standing room only?
Yeah,
right?
standing room only. We had a nice little ledge around center field towards the left field area. It was a great performance by Zach Wheeler. I mean, I was amazed by how good he was.
Outstanding performance.
I was amazed by how good he was.
He only had one bad inning in that fourth inning when he got in a little trouble, but he got out of it.
And then they just absolutely chased at everything outside the zone. That was my biggest fear. If these bats off of a bye, Billy, I was a supporter of the Phillies just taking the wild card, staying in rhythm, staying in groove, and continue to play, and then go into the NLDS and have that rhythm under their belt. Obviously, they got the bye. They didn't get a chance to keep playing and
but I don't think that
stay in that groove. I do.
Why do you think? Well,
look at the bats yesterday. I mean, I get it. They're blaming it on the shadows.
The Guardians had a layoff. They won yesterday. Had 7 hits, 7 runs.
The Guardians aren't the Philadelphia Phillies.
The Yankees had a week off. They had 6 hits, 9 runs.
Guardians and the Yankees are not the Philadelphia Phillies.
The Dodgers had a week off. They had 10 hits. They won 10 hits, 7 runs.
They did collapse last year after the first round bye, but
the Phillies,
different team.
Bye week, lost 5 hits, 2 runs. And it didn't even look, it wasn't even like you see 5 hits. It didn't even seem like 5 hits.
No, because half of it happened in garbage time.
Right.
You had the one Schwarber hit, you had the Harper double, and the rest, I honestly, I was at the game. I probably couldn't even tell you who else got a hit. We left by like the top of the 8th, bottom of the 8th. So
your boy, Nicky Earnshaw, I'm very upset with.
Oh, why?
Yeah, I'm really upset with him.
Why is that?
Because he talked me into making a bet that I didn't want to make. And now it doesn't look too good. Mr. Met called. We called him Mr. Met yesterday, and we're razzing him. We try to let him sing his Mets song. We hit the boo applause behind him. And we're breaking his stones. Yeah. And how could you be a Mets fan? There's something wrong with you. The whole thing you do to Cowboys fans, right?
Right.
He says, "Well, let's bet the series, Billy." He goes, "What do you want to bet?" I said, "I don't know. You tell me." He says, "If the Mets win the series, I have to learn their Mets fight song and sing it here on the radio show."
You're betting with a guy who can't even probably name 5 Mets players?
Yeah, right. And I said, no, I'm not doing it. Nicky Earnshaw, with his confidence, talks me into doing it.
So now if the Phillies lose, you got to sing the Mets fight song.
Yeah.
I mean, what happened to, the old-fashioned bets, a lunch? Take you out to get a drink.
No, because that's what we always, that's our normal thing. So for the playoffs, we have to do something different.
Yeah.
Now look at me.
Not looking great.
We got Sanchez on the hill today. And by the way, how about this stat? The last 3 games that the Phillies had a pitcher go 6 or 7 innings more. Hold on. The starting pitchers went 7 innings or more.
Mm-hmm.
They've lost their last 3 games.
Yep.
How do you lose? It's the offense is the problem, Danny.
Yeah, it's not a good look, Billy. It's not a good look for this offense. That's why I kept saying when you listed off those teams that had a bye and then they didn't skip a beat, they're not the Philadelphia Phillies.
What were they, 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position last night?
It wasn't pretty.
Like 2 for whatever.
I mean, you get Schwarber, who's got the 2 hits. He's the only guy that seemingly showed up. Harper had the 1 double. He had 2 walks, so I'm not going to bash him. But the rest of the lineup, awful. I mean, Castellanos 1 hit. You had Stott with a walk. You had Realmuto with a walk. You had Rojas with a walk. And then Cody Clemens. Cody Clemens is coming off the bench and getting a hit. I mean,
what's wrong with
it? Shouldn't be Cody Clemens, producing half of our hits right now.
What's wrong with Stott? Because if you see his face, you see his demeanor, you see his the
tough year.
Listen, he's a human being. He's got a young baby at home. He's got a wife. Who knows? Right. Maybe he looks tired. He looks like he's out of sorts. You just look at his face. He doesn't have that look.
He's not this type of player either. He's a good player. I'm not gonna.
I think something's going on in his personal. Something's got to be awry.
I don't know exactly what it is. I mean, his mechanics are way off. He's hitting into nothing but ground balls. His fielding hasn't skipped a beat, which is nice to have a Gold Glove second baseman. But yeah, something's off with him. He's having a very obscure year.
He just doesn't look like. You just look at his face.
He's not getting the barrel on the ball a lot. It's just not working for him this year. But again, back to Zach Wheeler real quick. You waste a 7-inning. 1-hit performance. Yeah, he walked 4 guys, whatever, but he got out of the trouble. 1-hit performance with 9 strikeouts. And for all those, supporters of, keeping Wheeler in yesterday and
11 pitches
and bashing Topper, he threw 111 pitches.
Yeah.
At what point do you want the manager to go to the bullpen? I get it. It's the postseason. You want to ride the hot hand. He threw 111 pitches.
I agree with you.
And you have one of the best bullpens in all of Major League Baseball. When do you wave the white flag and go to the bullpen?
Well, here's what Turner 0 for 4, right? You said. Bohm 0 for 4, Stott 0 for 3, Realmuto 0 for 3, Marsh 0 for 4. Those guys got to produce. They got to
happen.
And what did JT Realmuto say in an interview with John Clark a couple days before? We got to go deep counts. We got to just put the ball in play, get our bats on the ball. They still were swinging at stuff that wasn't even a strike zone.
My worst nightmare, Billy. My worst nightmare came true yesterday. And part of me
was a must-win, Danny.
Part of me thought they could hold on to a slim 1-0 lead. I'm like, all right, they'll do it. Fine. They've edged out wins like this before. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, this Mets team has no quit, man. This Mets team has zero quit.
They have that dynasty thing. Like, 2022, the Phillies backed into the playoffs?
Yes, they have what the Phillies had in 2022.
They have that right now. Look at their last 2 games. Look at they won in the last 2 innings of the game.
It's brutal, man. And in the back of my mind, I'm just thinking, the Mets are going to
Pete
come back.
Alonso goes yard against Milwaukee in the top of the 9th with 2 outs.
That was unreal.
Could have been his last at bat as a Met.
And he also botched a play in the field, too, right before that. People were thinking,
ball.
Is that going to be Pete Alonso's last play as a New York Met?
Right.
And then he comes up big. They advance, obviously, to face us.
And then they get sold in half by Wheeler, and then he gets taken out in the 8th inning. Boom, they go nuts.
Hoffman
6 runs in 2 innings.
Hoffman needs to show up in this series if we have if we want any sort of chance at winning this. Same thing with Strahm. They're both awful. Having your 2 best relievers you can't rely on, you're not going to win jack if you can't rely on your 2 best relievers. And then Kirkering comes in, he looked good.
They're different players. Look, the Mets and the Padres are the 2 hottest teams in baseball after the first half. The Phillies were like, 500, 32 and 31 or something like
skating by. Yeah.
And it was because the whole team, it wasn't just one part of the team. Bullpen went awry. Their bats went silent. They strike out too much. They don't put the ball in play. They don't play small ball. It's like feast or famine. They don't hit home runs. They don't win.
Just not a great time to be a Philadelphia Phillies fan, right? I mean, what do you think about today? Sanchez on the bump, obviously much better home splits than on the road. That's why he's getting this game 2-star over Nola.
I'm not. First of all, if I had money to bet this game, I wouldn't bet it. I'd stay away.
You wouldn't bet the Phillies.
No, I wouldn't bet the Phillies. No, I'd probably stay away because I can't see myself voting for picking the Mets just because I want to win money. By the way, one positive out of yesterday: no Mets fans in the stands.
Yeah, it wasn't very crowded with Mets fans
because we were all very uptight about the fact that we didn't want a repeat of the Sixers Knicks series.
Yep.
You were at the game. What did you see?
It wasn't too crowded with Mets fans. I'd say probably there was 5,000 to 7,000 maybe.
Total?
Yeah. I mean, it really wasn't that crowded with Mets
watching
fans.
on TV, seeing the crowd, I didn't see any Mets unless the Mets fans weren't wearing their gear.
There wasn't many, but they were still as obnoxious as always. I mean, there was this one guy behind me. He had a load on. He's getting real, mouthy with Phillies fans. Listen, it got close. It got close. And me and my friend were like, all right, if this guy continues to chirp at us, if he continues to be I'll just say
double scribble.
If he continues to be an ass clown, then we're gonna have to talk to him at least. But he eventually walked away.
You didn't give him a hard time anyway?
Nah, we said a few words to him. I mean, the guy comes in, he's like a geek. He comes in with AirPods in. He's listening to like the Mets radio broadcast. It's just, and then he's.
Well, I was
instigating the entire time.
For me, that was the only positive. And Wheeler. They were the only two positives.
Yeah, I mean, I have no clue how today's going to go, quite frankly. This is a much worse team than the Phillies. It just quite frankly is. I mean, you got guys that, they did not expect to make the playoffs. They're paying guys to be on other teams right now just for prospects.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're playing with house money at this point.
Team of destiny or dynasty?
They might be. And if we lose to the Mets.
The Eagles are like a little bit of a destiny because they've been in the playoffs now 3 years in a row. They can't get it done.
Yeah.
The Phillies are a destiny. Not dynasty, they're destiny.
Yeah, but they're not gonna win if they play like this, Billy. I mean, the Bats, they have to show up. I don't even care if you score 3 runs. You can't score 1 run in the NLDS. It just can't happen. The pitching is going to make a mistake at some point.
Right.
It's going to happen. So you have to give them some padding. Think about it, Billy. If the Phillies lose this series, what do we have to look forward to as a Philadelphia sports fan?
Some changes going to have to be made.
Think about it. Eagles come out of the bye.
Go after Soto?
Yeah, right. You might have to. Or like Santander from the Orioles. Right. You might have to get one of those big outfield bats to solidify this lineup. But is that even going to be enough? Like, this lineup's just so streaky.
It's better than what we got now because they're not doing it.
Well, think about it. If they lose this series, Eagles come out of the bye. Let's just think worst case scenario. They lose to the Browns.
Could you imagine if the Eagles lose to the Browns?
Deshaun Watson outplays Jalen Hurts. Another 1-2 turnover game for Jalen Hurts.
When did the fans start calling for a change of quarterback?
Not this season. Yeah, I mean, Kenny Pickett's an absolute dumpster fire.
I understand that, but
if anything,
it doesn't take too long in this town.
No, I know. I don't think it's time for that yet, though.
All right, we got a great show lined up today. At the bottom of the hour, we're going to go on. We're going to get the keys to the game with Fox 29 News sports anchor Scott Grayson, brought to you by Blitz's Market. We'll talk a little Eagles. We'll ask him about his thoughts on the Phillies, too, because he's down there. Phillies, Eagles with him. And then the bottom of the second hour, the fantasy football guru, Brian Hartley, brought to you by Charlie's Bar and Restaurant in Summers Point. So let's get her going.
How's your fantasy team doing?
I'm 2-2.
So am I. Right. I started off hot. I was 2-0. I'm like, I'm gonna wipe this.
But I've had all my receivers. Everybody's hurt on my team. Everybody.
Yeah, and now it's bye weeks are starting to come into factor. But I was really feeling good, Billy. Then I came down to earth. I'm not feeling too good anymore.
All right, the first hour of the locker was powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. From the shore to Center City and every place in between, Surety Title is there for you with 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA. That's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900 or give the Ocean City office a call at 609-399-1227. Now, I want to tell you about John A. McCann and Associates. McCann Appraisers. Got to get down there, give them a call. For all your real estate appraisal needs, call John A. McCann and Associates at 609-263-7422. Whether commercial or residential properties, for estate, tax, or financial planning, divorce, financing, and more. The professionals at John A. McCann and Associates are licensed and ready to assist you. Give them a call, 609-263-7422. When we return, we'll continue with more here in the locker room with Billy Schweim and Danny Ryan right here on 97.3 ESPN.
Coming up on the next edition of the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Hey, it's Mike Gill. Coming up on Monday's show, we'll take a look back at the weekend in Game 1 and 2 of the Phillies-Mets NLDS. Plus, we'll take a look ahead as the Eagles return and they prepare for the Cleveland Browns. We'll look back at Week 5 of the NFL. All that and more live at the Fanatic Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City.
The Sports Bash, weekdays from 2 to 6 p.m. on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
Ocean City's real estate market is red hot, and you need an agent that has the knowledge and expertise to help. Contact Ocean City's top agent, Mark Grimes. Mark has been selling real estate for 30 years in South Jersey. He can answer all your real estate questions and find you the perfect property. He's available anytime on his cell at 609-425-2042. When Philadelphia star athletes are looking for a house at the beach, they contact Mark Grimes, specializing in buying and selling vacation homes, single-family homes, condominiums, and duplexes, residential and commercial, as well as new construction projects or investment opportunities. Mark Grimes, he's your agent at the beach. Give him a call right now, 609-425-2042, or check out his website at grimes.com.
Hi, this is ex-Philadelphia Eagles tight end Ken Dunnick, and I'm the current publisher of Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine, and I'm asking you to become a Camden County police officer and help make our city a better place to live. The Camden County Police Department is now hiring for sworn officers who are going to make a difference in our community. The first year's salary for the position is $51,000. So join the effort today to be part of something bigger than yourself. Visit CamdenCountyPD.org to apply online. That's CamdenCountyPD.org. Thank you.
Finding an electrician that is dependable, prompt, and experienced is important. Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Service is just that. Servicing Atlantic and Cape May counties for 40 years, Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Services both commercial and residential work and provides 24-hour emergency services. No job too big and no job too small. Call Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Services. They do it all. Call for a free estimate, 609-399-1999.
Call Tom Jackson & Sons for electrical. They're number one.
With fall savings at the Home Depot, you can get up to $1,600 off select appliances from top brands like Samsung, ranked number one in customer satisfaction. Wash and dry in one cycle with the Samsung Ultra Capacity All-in-One Washer-Dryer Combo from the Home Depot. And get laundry day done faster, running a super speed load in just 98 minutes. Right now, save up to $1,600 and financing on select appliances with fall savings at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Pricing about September 26th through October 16th. U.S. only. See store online for details. Visit jdpower.com/awards for more details.
It's common knowledge that after age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy and gain weight easier. There's a way to feel better, not in years or months, but sometimes in just days.
I'm Chuck Norris. I tried everything. Working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick. Morning Kick is a revolutionary new formula that combines all my favorite supplements into one daily drink.
Morning Kick has probiotics to help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and powerful anti-aging supplements. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, and helps manage stress.
I look and feel better than I have in years.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com, use code SUPPORT, or text SUPPORT to 511-511 and claim 40% off. roundhouseprovisions.com, code SUPPORT.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee. You could be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text SUPPORT to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
You're listening to The Locker Room. 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
All right, we're back broadcasting live at the Toms River Auto Group studio right here in Northfield. Billy Schweim and Danny Ryan. Just the two of us. We're having a lot of fun talking about the misery of yesterday's game.
Are we having fun? I don't think so. No, it's more of a therapy session.
Is it therapy?
Yes.
Tommy Green said I don't think.
He's got to be our therapist.
Love everything about
it. You love him.
It handles well, all these safety features. Everything. I know the buttons are not too complicated. If I can figure it out, anybody can.
Right.
Cruise control, lane assistance.
It's sport mode.
You got everything. Four-wheel drive. The car is fast. Got great pickup.
Yep.
I love the way it looks. The outer, the way the car.
If you ever see a Volkswagen speeding on the Atlantic City Expressway,
hey, thanks a lot. What are you gonna try to get me a ticket here?
With a locker room sticker on the back.
Shut up.
You know who it is.
I got my listen. So yesterday, we're all pumped up. Matter of fact, you're sporting. We're on our X platform. We're broadcasting live on X platform and YouTube channel. And Danny has We Own the East. And Nicky Herschel and I wore those shirts yesterday.
Yep.
After the game, like, who cares about the East?
Yeah, exactly.
I want to win the World Series.
I was just about to say, I don't know how much we own the East if we can't even take down.
I'm actually thinking about burning that thing.
Yeah, I'm
who
there
cares
with you.
about the East?
I'm there with you.
Can't they come up with a better slogan, Danny?
Do we really own the East if we can't take down a division rival in the East?
We own the East. The Mets beat us 6-2 at our home ballpark.
After a masterful performance. I think that's the worst part about this entire thing. If Wheeler came out and he had a 2-3 run performance, it's whatever. I could accept the loss there.
Right.
But he was masterful. Even when he walked batters, he got out of trouble, and you waste that, and you blame it on shadows? Newsflash, they're not changing the times the entire series. I mean, it's going to be around the same exact time for every single game, so you better get used to the shadows. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Kodai Shende, what's his name?
Kodai Senga.
Senga.
Yes.
Bryce Harper said
Kodai Shindig.
his split finger, the split
ghost,
finger
was
disappearing in the shadows.
Ghost fork.
No joke. He looked like a magician out there. You guys could hit anything.
They probably should have left him out for longer, for being honest.
31 pitches.
I mean, the books only thought he was going to go 2 innings. He only ends up going 2 innings, let up 1 run, but he looked pretty good. And the way our bats were chasing, the way the shadows were interfering with the bats, he probably could have gone at least 4.
Going to have to win today, and Noel's going to have to come up with a gem, like a repeat performance of what Wheeler did on game 1.
In New York?
Yeah. And if there's anybody who can do it, it's him.
But it doesn't matter, Billy. The pitching's not the problem. I mean, obviously the bullpen was a problem yesterday, but I don't expect that to keep up. If the bats don't show up, Nola could throw a no-hitter. It doesn't friggin' matter. No. It doesn't.
No, you're right. You're right.
I mean, it's the same thing as last year when they collapsed against Arizona in the final 3 games. I don't know how much more I can do. And this window...
Was it loud there? Was it loud there yesterday?
You know what? In the middle innings, it was kind of...
Because I know that you could hear a pin drop in the 8th inning.
It was disappointing. You know, we're in like the 5th...
Would you left early?
I left in like the bottom of the 8th when I knew the game was over. It was over.
Were other people
and think about it. That was a madhouse last night. Billie Eilish at the Wells Fargo Center. Phillies playing. I wasn't
Billie Eilish was there?
Billie Eilish. It was at the Wells Fargo Center.
Really? It was Billie Eilish?
Yeah. I mean, it was packed, so I wasn't trying to stay in that traffic. We got out fairly quickly, but around the 5th or the 6th, there was no energy anymore. There just wasn't. I'm looking around. I'm like, why are we, waving these rally towels? Why aren't we screaming our heads off right now? What's going on?
Was there any boos there last night?
No, I mean, after a strikeout, occasionally you'd hear a faint boo, but it wasn't anything crazy. There was a lot of hair plug chants.
So yesterday I leave here, right?
Hold on, did you hear me?
What's that?
There was a lot of hair plug chants for Pete Alonso. So Pete Alonso has hair plugs.
I saw that last night. Was it up close?
I actually started one of the hair plug chants because somebody decided to, make that a movement.
So he's follically challenged, but he still they beat the Phillies.
That he did.
I don't care what
that
play.
He did. Somebody decided to make that a movement though, and somebody over in the section next to me started chanting it. Like the only person in the stadium that also knew about this hair plug thing. And so I started going with it. Then we got the whole section doing hair plugs.
What's the oh my God thing? What's that OMG?
It's Jose Iglesias' song. So their shortstop or second baseman, I guess.
He's a singer?
He made a song. I mean, his MLB career was pretty much washed up.
Right.
So he made a song, and then the Mets signed him, I believe, to a minor league deal.
Right.
He showed some success, and then they brought him up. He's one of their better hitters now, actually.
He's on fire.
But yeah, he's got a song, OMG, and they played it. They had him do a live concert at Citi Field in the middle of the season.
Well, he's not on fire. He's batting 167 and 167 in the playoffs. So but he's getting clutch hits, I guess.
In 4 games. But yeah, it's just, again, Nola can pitch a no-hitter. Sanchez can go out today and shove 7 innings of 2-run ball. It does not matter if these bats don't show up. And also, I don't think the shadows were a problem for Kyle Schwarber. I just don't. I mean, leadoff home run. He also had another hit. He looked pretty good out there. So I can't deal with this excuse of the shadows. Get over it. Get over it. The Mets had the shadows. The Mets are playing in a hostile opposing ballpark, and you lose to them because of shadows. Get out of here with that. Give me a break.
So yesterday, we Nick and I, they were all Phillied up, right? We're all ready, got our shirts on. We own the East. I go to Randazzo's. I get a big order of chicken wings. Bring them home. I'm in front of my game, and then after a while, went to my buddy's house. They had a chimney in the back, right? So I brought the wings over there. The wings are great.
Yeah.
Randazzo's chicken wings
getting me hungry. I haven't eaten yet.
Phenomenal. They're unbelievable. But you get all worked up, and then you see that performance.
I just wanted something like we felt in 22 or even the beginning stages of 23. And I had it for about 6 innings.
All right. We've been broadcasting down at La Scala's Beach House. We'll be there the next 3 Sundays, the 13th, the 20th, and the 27th.
Becoming a mainstay.
And on the 27th, former Eagle, Mr. Invincible, Vince Papali.
Invincible.
He will be part of our crew broadcasting the show.
When is that?
The 27th.
Okay.
And then he'll be staying at La Scala's from 1 to 2 to sign autographs before the 4 o'clock game against, I believe, Cincinnati that weekend.
There you go. That's going to be a good time.
Because La Scala's is the place to be.
Yep.
Now, on the other side, we're going to talk to Scott Grayson from Fox 29 News. We usually get the keys to the game, but we're not going to get the keys. We're going to get his grades because he does Grayson's grades on the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Right.
And we'll talk to him about the Eagles up to the bye.
Okay. But maybe mixing some Phils there too. You might as well.
Who are you more depressed about, the Phillies or the Eagles?
That's so tough because the Eagles have given us 4 games of kind of mediocre play or at least average play, whereas the Phillies have had 1 stinker. They could turn it around. So probably the Eagles for right now.
Okay.
But if the Phillies lose tonight, I mean, call me crazy, Billy, I might not watch another game. If they get swept by
you'll watch.
They get swept by the Mets,
you'll watch.
What's this city going to do if they get swept by the Mets?
If they get swept by the Mets, we're going to have to bury our heads and hide.
Even if they win one game and lose to the Mets, that's pathetic. I got a text here, and Bill from Ocean City says, if the Phillies lose tonight, I might have to start rocking my Dead October sweatshirt. Not Red October, Dead October. And I couldn't agree more.
You know what's so perplexing?
Am I panicking?
No. Oh, now you're asking me. I've been panicking since August 15th.
It's just uncharted territory for me. It feels weird.
I told you guys. Like Nicky's been saying the Phillies are going to win the World Series, and he's been consistent.
But he's Mr. Positivity. Yeah. We know that.
When he does his Nick Nuggets with Mike Gill, the Sports Bash.
Yeah. I mean, the sky could literally be falling, and
that was a text board question for us last night. Were you nervous or confident?
Yep.
Everybody was confident. I was nervous.
Anonymous texter chimes in and says, Mets radio this morning was talking about a matchup with the Dodgers.
So they're already looking past us.
They're getting ahead of themselves, Billy.
609-403-0973 is the text board number. Chime on in.
I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
I want to hear what
it's on the show here.
I want to hear what the people think. Like, get into what they're thinking. 609-403-0973. We're sitting here today, and we're just like, I don't know, man. I'm just like dumbfounded.
I want something.
I just can't
to look
believe that
to.
the Phillies are not hidden.
This was supposed to be a perfect Sunday. No Eagles.
Right.
They can't affect my mental health. I'll watch the other football games. You have a 9:30 football game in London between the Jets and the Vikings.
Right.
I'm here talking sports with you. I was hoping to talk a Phillies win. It was going to be a great Sunday. And then I would watch the Phillies later on at 4 o'clock once the 1 p.m. window for football was over. Now I might take a nap. I mean, screw the other football. Screw the Phillies.
No, I think I'm gonna go home.
I'm backed up on sleep.
Yeah. No, I need some sleep too.
That game kept me up last night.
So last night I go to my buddy Lou's house after they all went to the game. They sat 3 rows behind the dugout.
Yep.
I didn't even see them.
That's a great spot
because I was I was so tuned into that game, and just like you're hanging on every pitch. That's what's good about baseball playoffs. You hang on every pitch.
Yeah.
People in the stands. You guys you were standing remotely.
Yeah.
But people behind the plate, they're all standing.
Yeah, no, wait. I was on a ledge in center field, and everyone in the seats in front of us, they stood up every single.
You're hanging on every pitch.
Inning. It was kind of annoying because I'm trying to see, but that's what playoff baseball is like in Philly. But I'll tell you, I was, like I said, very disappointed in the energy they brought for the second half of the game. First half, energy was there. National broadcast, obviously, they do the whole thing in the stadium. Phillies fans, we're live on Fox. Wave those rally towels. It was going crazy. And then the second half of the game, it was quite honestly, if we're going to, boast about this home environment, you don't want to go to Citizens Bank Park, you don't want to go to Philly in October. Second half of the game, the energy was pathetic. Pathetic. Yeah, well, I was trying to get people around me rallying. We weren't even losing at that point.
This is before it was a 0-0.
Wheeler was still
1-0.
Wheeler was still in the game, but because the bats weren't hitting, it was just so tight.
So the Phillies players took their own crowd out of the game.
That's the problem too, though. I blame the crowd for that. I mean, obviously the bats.
Yeah, but how do you get excited when they keep striking out?
I get that, but at the same time, you got to motivate your guys. Like, yes, it's a great environment when it's going good. It's crazy, but at the same time, when it's going bad, you could hear a pin drop. Like last year, it was the same thing. When things were going bad,
Danny,
it was there was no environment.
That's the way it is, man. You don't produce. It's tough to get. At a baseball game, by the 7th inning, if you're only up 1-0 and your team's striking out, how many times did they strike out yesterday? Ready? They struck out 9 times. No, 8 times.
Yeah,
I guess that's average.
Yeah, it's about average.
The Mets struck out 11 times. So.
It's just either way, though. I mean, you could strike out 9 times and still get 3 home runs and be fine. It's just if you're gonna go and, like I said, brag about this crazy home environment. We got the best environment in all of baseball.
I'll give it to you.
You can't just lay down and die when you're up 1-0 and your bats are striking out. You have to keep the energy to make it that hostile environment to affect the opposing team. I don't get this with Philly fans. I'm trying to rally, bring the energy.
You did your part, Danny.
They lose it. They lose it by the 4th or the 5th. I can't do it.
All right. The first hour of the locker was powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. From the shore to center city and every place in between, Surety Title is there for you with 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA. That's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900 or give the Ocean City office a call. Chris Mooney's there, 609-399-1227. Now, I want to tell you about Escala's Beach House in Brigantine. We've been doing our Eagles pregame show from there. You got to come on down. The next 3 Sundays, the 13th, the 20th, and the 27th, we'll be broadcasting live for our Eagles pregame show from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. La Scala's opened last summer to rave reviews. It's your home away from home for a large selection of Italian, American, and seafood favorites, just like your grandmom used to make. Plus, you'll love their famous pizza, their daily specials, and their game day menu. Eat in or take out at La Scala's are located at 1400 Ocean Avenue in Brigantine. That's LaScalasBeachHouse.com. Let's eat. When we return, we'll get the keys to the game with Fox 29 News sports anchor Scott Grayson. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schwein and Danny Ryan right here on 97.3 ESPN.
Wake up weekday mornings from 6 to 10 a.m. with Unsportsmanlike on 97.3 ESPN with Evan Cohen, Super Bowl champion Chris Canty, and Michelle Small.
Can't wake up without it.
Brought to you by the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City.
Train presents The Unstoppables. Those captains of comfort, those gargantuans of the guarantee, those satisfaction savants who persevere perilously beyond probability as the raconteurs of reliability. Here's to Train's heralded heroes of heating and air conditioning, those comfort kings with a tireless tenacity for total turnaround. The Train Comfort Specialists. Just one more reason why it's hard to stop a train.
Hi, this is Joe Lenigan, owner of Lenigan Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Call us today for your free Train system quote at 609-399-1200 or online at ocnjplumber.com. And please don't forget to ask for the military and senior discount.
Calling again, again and again. Calling again, again and again.
Randazzo's Pizza, Randazzo's Pizza, Randazzo's Pizza, the pizza you're gonna love. It's got the freshest taste that you'll find any place. Randazzo's Pizza, there's one right nearby. Randazzo's Pizza, Randazzo's Pizza. It's a pizza like you've never had before. Eat it or take it home, no matter where you roam. Randazzo's Pizza, the tastiest you'll find. Randazzo's Pizza, the tastiest you'll find.
Why would you call anyone else besides Randazzo's Pizzeria and Family Restaurant, 34th and Asbury Avenue in Ocean City. Open year-round, 7 days a week, offering free delivery on the whole island and to the beach. Pizza, pasta, salads, entrees, subs, paninis, and wraps. Voted best of the shore. Call 814-1600. 814-1600.
Randazzo's Pizza, the tastiest you'll find. Randazzo's Pizza, the tastiest you'll find.
How would you like to go to the 2025 Masters Golf Tournament? Go to ticksforgood.org to find out how you can win the grand prize of 2 weekend passes to the 2025 Masters, as well as plenty of other awesome prizes like Masters hats, t-shirts, and foursomes to your favorite South Jersey golf courses. Go to ticksforgood.org to learn how you can win these prizes. This sweepstakes is brought to us by our friends at Shane Orthopedics and the David Scales State Farm team.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
97.3 ESPN has teamed up with Seize the Deal for incredible weekly offers from some fantastic local restaurants. Here's this week's big deal.
Get a $50 gift card, good for use, at Provenza Restaurant and Event Center on Wellington Avenue in Ventnor for just $25.
This great deal is on sale now at seizethedeal.com. Hurry, chances are this deal will sell quickly. For more info on this great deal, go to seizethedeal.com.
Seizethedeal.com.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schwein on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
All right, we're back broadcasting live at the Toms River Auto Group studio right here in Northfield. Billy Schwein, producer Danny Ryan back over there running the board, and we're like depressed. We're out of it.
It's not a day to be happy.
It's not a day to be happy.
It is not a
and
day
we're
to be
at,
happy.
what I meant is it's always fun to talk sports, but we'd rather be talking about a Philly thing.
Be talking about a Phillies win, what the Eagles could do out of the bye, how they could fix their, offense and defensive woes. But no, instead it's just a gloom and doom day.
All right, now it's time to get the keys to the game with Fox 29 News sports anchor Scott Grayson, sponsored by Blitz's Market in Ocean City, located at 21st and Asbury Avenue. Try their famous breakfast sandwiches, hoagies, gourmet burgers, and their vegetarian options. Online ordering is available at blitzesmarkets.com or give them a call at 609-399-9983. Start your day off with Blitz's freshly squeezed orange juice. Mention the locker room and get $1 off their 12 ounces of liquid sunshine. That's Blitz's Markets. Get in there, say hello to Dave and Joe Newman. Let's go to the Toms River Volkswagen Sports Hotline and welcome into the locker room our good buddy Scott Grayson. Good morning, Scott Grayson.
Good morning, guys. How we doing?
Well, we're not happy, Scott. No, and
I figured as much.
I mean, so I've been panicking. It's funny because all of a sudden Danny's panicking. We have Tommy Green do a segment with us each and every Sunday throughout the baseball season. And, as a fan, you got that emotional roller coaster. You're up and down. And Tommy's, he's a true professional. They say keep that even keel. Don't get too excited when things are going bad or good. Don't get too down when things are going bad. But I can't be that way. But yesterday was a really, really depressing loss for the Phillies, Scott. And this team, it's feast or famine.
Well, so I'm with you. Like I went into the week like, okay, I can block out whatever that garbage was the Eagles put on the field last week, knowing that there's playoff baseball this
exactly.
weekend. And you go into it and you go, hey, you got your ace on the mound. Like if there's one thing you can count on, it's that Zach Wheeler is going to give you a chance to win. And they needed 6 outs. And the bullpen, which has been pretty good, could not have been really worse. And so now you come out of that going, okay, well, this is a must win now because you can't go to New York down 0-2.
No.
And so, but these guys are professionals. They know that they need to, they obviously need to hit better. And I just think they need to have a better approach at the plate. And I think, frankly, they'll be okay. I expect to win tonight, Billy. I really do. I think Christopher Sanchez will pitch well, and I just expect the offense to do a lot better job than it did yesterday. One interesting thing I thought that Nick Castellanos' point that he made after the game, and it makes sense. He said both teams had to be having problems seeing the ball because of that sunlight, the shadows, and all that. And if you notice, other than Schwarber's bomb, there was nothing to be done offensively for either team until that 8th and 9th inning. So, but you got to go out there and figure that's going to be part of the deal today. So you got to jump on these guys and you got to find a way to work some counts. Can't be chasing that stuff in the dirt. They just need better at bats. And I mean, I still have confidence in this team. One game is not going to shake my confidence. Okay. Was I angry last night? Yes, I was angry last night, but I would say, Billy, don't panic. They go back 1-1. And if I told you they were 1-1 going to New York for Game 3, and they had beaten them when Wheeler started and lost when Sanchez started, you'd go, oh, okay, I could see that.
Well, tonight's a must-win.
It's a must-win. It really is, and I expect them to play that way in front of that crowd and feed off of that crowd tonight.
All right, Scott Grayson from Fox 29 News. As always, we get your keys to the game, but since it's the Eagles bye week, we're going to get your grades because you do Grayson's grades for 97.3 ESPN.com. Of course, you're on the Sports Bash with Mike Gill with your grades, but just it's only 4 weeks in, and we've seen a very inconsistent team, a team that played horrible last week, and now we have a bad taste in our mouth through the bye week. So I want you to grade the Eagles, what some of the good things you see, some of the negative things you say.
It's funny you said that because I was kind of thinking about this team this week at one point. And I thought, you know what? You're never really as good as your greatest game, and you're never really as bad as your worst. Well, I think there's no doubt the worst was what we just saw.
Oh
and I know they were missing 3 offensive starters, 3 of your best offensive starters. I get that, but it should not have been that bad. That being said, if I threw that game out and I said their best game was probably the Saints game. So now I grade and I look at the 2 games that are left. That was the Packers game, which they had to fight through a lot of adversity in that game, including the travel to Brazil and back, the footing on that field. And it was a tight game, and they won it. And then I look at the other game, which was the Falcons game, which they won all but the final 90 seconds. This team's 2-2. We're not even a quarter of the way through the season now that there's 17 games. I think this team's going to be all right. They're going to figure it out. But the biggest key to figuring it out, first of all, the coaches, I think, need to do a better job of some self-scouting here. And that's what they always say they do during the bye. I think they need to figure some things out. If there's one thing I would ask Kellen Moore to do, it would be to pull back the leash on Jalen Hurts a little bit. Let's tighten that leash just a little bit and not give him as much autonomy to change as many plays at the line of scrimmage. I hear him changing a lot of plays. And I start asking myself, now, is this what Kellen Moore is calling, or is Jalen Hurts changing plays because these defensive coordinators are throwing things at him to confuse him? He thinks he sees one thing, changes the play into something that now is not productive. I would ask, let's pick spots where we decide to give Jalen needs to get into a rhythm. This offense needs to get into a rhythm, and they haven't been able to do that really yet. Now, you're going to get your receivers back. You're going to get Lane Johnson back. You're going to have these guys going again. Build some rhythm in this offense, but do it with Kellen Moore's offense, and do it with some guardrails in place. And as this team builds some momentum, as they build some rhythm, then you allow Jalen to have more of that autonomy back. It's not a, hey, we're taking this from you and we're keeping it. No, we're taking a little bit of it back. We want you to just focus on calling the plays that we call with certain spots where you can get out of it. And then let him have more of that back as he sees how this offense can flow with Saquon, with everybody else. The defense, I mean, I don't understand missed tackles. I just don't understand.
15 of them last week.
It was awful. And you can't blame Vic Fangio, because a missed tackle by definition means somebody was in place to make a tackle,
right,
and missed it. So they are where they should be. So you can't really blame Fangio. Where I get on Fangio is saying, listen, the game plan that Tampa went with was obvious. Get Baker Mayfield the ball and get it out of his hands as fast as possible.
Yeah, quickly.
So you playing off of his receivers when he's trying to get rid of the ball quickly is doing nothing to mess up those routes. It's not giving your defense an opportunity to make him hold the ball longer, because if a guy he was looking for got bumped off his route a little bit, now that timing's not there, he might hold it and look for another guy. Now your pass rush can get – I didn't see any adjustments from Vic. That's where I'll go on him. So when you self-scout Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio, these are the things I think you need to see. And as far as Jalen Hurts goes, my God, man, I mean, it's simple. It really is. Don't turn it over.
4 touchdowns and 4 TDs in 4 games.
Yeah, I mean, and as much as you want to get upset with that defense in the last game, because they couldn't get off the field, it was hot. And your offense had the ball for 3 plays and punted it back. Yeah. 3 different times in a row. I mean, you can't get on the defense when they're exhausted because it's hot and they can't even get a drink of water before they have to run back on the field. So this team just that's where they have to figure. They'll be okay. I still think this team wins the division.
Okay.
But they've got to pull it together, and they've got to do these simple things first. Make tackles. I mean, it's all basics, fundamentals. Right. Make tackles when they're there. Don't turn it over. And I don't know, maybe force a takeaway here or there.
We're talking with Scott Grayson from Fox 29 News. Every week we get the keys to the game. Scott, Saquon Barkley seems like you seem like and I'm not breaking your stones about seem like a broken record, but it's because it's correct. Run the ball. They got the best one of the best running backs in the league. He had 10 touches last week, 10 carries.
Yeah, I that's where I go to. Again, I don't know if there were some run plays called early in that game that Jalen checked out of. And because, I mean, listen, if I'm having a hard time getting a first down and I got a guy who, right, but it's simple math. If you get me 3 yards per play, we're facing a 4th and 1 worst case. We got to play for that. It's a pretty high percentage chance of making it. So if you're asking me, Saquon, give me 3 yards of carry. And I don't know, he's going to break one of them eventually. It seems like that's kind of how it's worked. Why wouldn't you? Now, I finally saw them try a screen pass to him. I saw that, and of course they didn't complete it. And I'm going, thank you. At least it's in the playbook.
Right.
But yeah, and I know you're going to get these guys back next game. But seems to me right now that Saquon is the guy to build off of. And I asked myself, I said, okay, what's different from the 22 year when Jalen was so good? What is different? The difference was his legs made a big difference. They forced teams to spy him, which took one less guy out of pass coverage, who was doing nothing more than just floating around wherever Jalen went.
Right.
He is not running until the second half now. I don't see the burst in his legs that I remember seeing 2 years ago. I think he is resisting running, and I don't know if the Eagles have put those clamps on him or if he's just trying to make sure he is a passing quarterback and not a run-first quarterback, because that seems to matter a lot to these guys sometimes. I don't see a problem with a dual-threat quarterback. I really don't. But you can't be that if you aren't doing that. And I think with a Saquon Barkley, how if they go back to their, like, here's the other thing. I mean, you talk about fundamentals. How many times are they running RPOs and then they get called for a guy, an eligible receiver downfield? I mean, this is fundamental stuff that's not being drilled or practiced well enough for them to avoid those penalties. So, I mean, to me, you want to say, what's the biggest key of the bye week? Get back to the basics, guys. I mean, that really is it for me. And let Saquon continue to be your featured part of the offense and evolve from there. Evolve out from there. Don't try to pass the ball to Devontae and A.J. Brown so much early in the game that the other team's pass rush affects the game and sets the tone before you get the chance to set it with your offensive line and your running game. To me, I mean, it just seems like it's pretty basic stuff.
Scott, we obviously know the play on the field is subpar right now, but the talk of the town this week has been how the chemistry might be a little bit subpar in that locker room. You see Darius Slay taking to Twitter to tweet his accolades and his resume, which is just absolutely
and then
ridiculous.
going on Micah Parsons' podcast,
He
laughing
goes on
and ripping his own teammates.
CJ Gardner-Johnson obviously has been just nothing but talking, since week one. And then Devin White, he retweets that tweet of Levante David sacking his quarterback. I know he's not playing, but it's still his team. And then says, "Oh no, I meant to like it. It's my twin. I meant to like it." Are you concerned at all about the issues in the locker room right now as far as chemistry goes?
A little bit. From being in there and around the guys, they really try to act like and give you the impression it's not the case. But more now than any other time this season, I am feeling like last year's not gone. Last year is not put behind, as much as they all wanted to say last year. For the guys that were here last year, there's a feeling of, oh no, is this like last year? I think kind of circulating through some of them. And that feeling, I think, is there. So how do you break that, right? Well, not by what's going on with, and these are veteran players doing this stuff, like you pointed out. Devin White, I can't say I wouldn't be disgruntled if I were him.
Right.
And after what's going on, I mean, if I'm Vic, unleash the hound, right? Give him a shot. I think this guy would go out and probably play like a freaking monster right now. Given that he is disgruntled, he wants the chance to show he should be able to do it and do it well. I would give him a chance, at this point. But it still doesn't make it okay to do the things those guys are doing and talk the way they're talking. Here's the one caveat that I think people tend to forget. These are human beings. They have wives and kids. These wives and kids see and hear everything being said about their loved ones. And it comes back to them. And if you're a human being and you hear criticism, Slay's way of doing it was to say, look what I've done. He's not wrong, but is that really the best way to do it? No, it's not. No. And so but they're on this bye. They're away from the facility. They are not under the watchful eyes of the PR department or the coaching staff. So they're free, and they are being free. Now, if they get it all out of their system and they come back in and they get regrouped a little bit after this bye week, a little healthier, listen, winning cures all. And when you look at the next 4 games, these are 4 very winnable games. So I could see this team easily winning 3 of them and possibly all 4. And now they're 6-2, and we're having a much different conversation 4 weeks.
Got that right. If it's a big if.
It is.
All right, Scott Grayson, as always, we really appreciate you and love your insight. Of course, we can catch you on 97.3ESPN.com with Grayson's Grades and with Mike Gill on the Sports Bash. Scott, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you next Sunday.
All right, you got it, guys. Have a good one.
There he is, Scott Grayson. We get the keys to the game with Fox 29 News sports anchor Scott Grayson, sponsored by Blitz's Market in Ocean City, located at 21st and Asbury Avenue. Try their famous breakfast sandwiches, hoagies, gourmet burgers, and vegetarian options. Online ordering is available at blitzesmarkets.com or give them a call at 609-399-9983. Start your day off with Blitz's freshly squeezed orange juice. Mention the locker room and get $1 off their 12 ounces of liquid sunshine. That's Blitz's Markets. Get down there, say hello to Dave and Joe Newman. The Eagles have to win, Danny. If they lose against we're talking about a different conversation. If they don't win, they beat the Cleveland Browns next week.
Like I told you, imagine this scenario. The Phillies lose the NLDS. God forbid they get swept by the Mets. Eagles come out of the bye week, and they lose to the Browns, and Deshaun Watson outplays Jalen Hurts by far. Can you think of a worse scenario? The sky would be falling.
Absolutely. All right, for the first hour of the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection, professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. From the shore to Center City and every place in between, Surety Title is there for you with 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA. That's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900 or give the Ocean City office a call. Chris Mooney's there, 609-399-1227. Now, just about everybody in our area has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine that is run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunnick. But were you aware of the private business network they call the Legacy Club? Every month, they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia and South Jersey that attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and see it's a fit for your business, send an email to ken@jerseymanmagazine.com or give him a call at 856-912-4007 for more information. When we return, we'll wrap up hour number one. You're listening to The Locker with Billy Schwein right here on 97.3 ESPN.
Ryan Radke here from Westwood One. Mike Golick and I are set to bring you Sunday Night Football this week from the Steel City when Justin Fields and the Steelers host Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. Dallas is 2-2, coming off a critical win over the Giants, while the Steelers look to bounce back from their first loss of the season. Join us for what should be a great matchup. It's the Cowboys at the Steelers on Sunday Night Football.
Listen to Sunday Night Football. Coverage begins at 8 p.m. on 97.3 ESPN.
Finding an electrician that is dependable, prompt, and experienced is important. Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Service is just that. Servicing Atlantic and Cape May counties for 40 years, Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Services specializes in both commercial and residential work and provides 24-hour emergency services. No job too big and no job too small. Call Tom Jackson & Sons Electrical Services. They do it all. Call for a free estimate, 609-399-1999.
Call Tom Jackson and Sons for electrical, they're number one.
Every year, hundreds of children suffer from unintentional injuries or death due to unsecured guns. Camden County and Moms Demand Action South Jersey are asking for your help to reduce gun violence by spreading the Be Smart message.
Store guns unloaded, locked, and separate from ammunition. And talk to other parents about secure gun storage.
It's up to us to prevent these tragedies and save lives. Visit CamdenCounty.com/BeSmart to learn how we can stop gun accidents and deaths together.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper, and you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
With fall savings at the Home Depot, you can get up to $1,600 off select appliances from top brands like GE Profile. Save space and time with the new combo washer and dryer and do it all in one machine. And with Smart Dispense technology, the right amount of detergent is automatically added to every wash. Laundry day is a whole lot smarter with the GE Profile Ultra Fast Combo with Smart Dispense only at the Home Depot. Right now, save up to $1,600 and financing on select appliances with fall savings at the Home Depot. More done. Present about September 26th through October 16th. U.S. only. See store online for details.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective. A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Go to get your game on at the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Get in on the parlay while in the middle of a party. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screens. Go to the Gallery. Go to the Fanatic Sportsbook. Go for the win at Ocean Casino Resort. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schwein on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
All right, we're back broadcasting live at the Town River Auto Group studio right here in Northfield. Billy Schwein, Danny Ryan, as we're dealing with the aftermath of a very bad loss to the New York State Mets.
What are you going to do for the game today? Anything?
I'm going to go.
Go to bed early, maybe, if they start losing.
So,
Yeah.
Age my daughter in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I mean,
Our bed, I'll be in my bed at 9 o'clock.
if Sanchez gets
I'll have,
roughed up,
I'll have the TV on. I'll be watching.
yeah. If Sanchez gets roughed up early, I mean, the season's over. It just is. Like Scott said, you can't go to New York down 1-2. It's over. You go to New York.
Dodgers won.
They did.
Dodgers second house team.
I think they're the better team, to be honest with the Padres. The Dodgers' luck, I believe, will run out in this series because they don't have enough. Excuse me. They do not have enough pitching. I mean, you think about it, their best pitcher right now is probably who? Walker Buehler. He's had a hard season.
Buehler, anyone?
Yep.
All right, our one's in the book. By the way, Kyle Schwarber in his 5th team-up career. Fourth in the film.
Wait, say that again?
He hit his 4th or 5th leadoff of his career home.
In the playoffs. Yeah. I was like, there's no way that's making sure.
All right.
One more hour of therapy left. Let's do this.
All right. On the other side, out of the first and second hour, we're talking fantasy football guru Brian Hart, brought to you by Charlie's Bar and Restaurant. The Locker Room with Billy Schwein, producer, co-host Danny Ryan, right here, 97.3 ESPN and 97.3 ESPN.
Your business is your passion. It's a huge reason you get out of bed every day. If you have a bigger vision for your business, it's time to make the experts at Town Square Media a part of your team. Why? Because at Town Square Media, they have the most advanced advertising tools to help your business finish 2024 strong and increase your sales all throughout next year. Now is the time to turn to Town Square Media. For one day only, you can enjoy deep advertising discounts on their top stations. You know the ones your potential customers listen to every single day, and they don't do just radio. They have amazing digital tactics to help maximize your reach and target your exact customers. If you're thinking bigger for your business, then it's time to think Town Square Media. Take action and go to townsquaresouthjersey.com to request information on their customer appreciation sale. That's townsquaresouthjersey.com.
Imagine getting ahead of your irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C by treating it with Linzess. Then you can start proactively managing your constipation with belly pain and get ahead of your symptoms. Talk to your doctor about Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Sponsored by Abbey and Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
New Jersey is leading the nation in clean energy investments with one thing in mind: you. Save money while saving the planet. New Jersey's Clean Energy Program is a statewide program that offers incentives, programs, and services that benefit New Jersey residents, businesses, education, government, and nonprofit entities to help us all save energy, money, and the environment. Discover how you can start saving today and help ensure a cleaner future. Visit njcleanenergy.com to see what New Jersey's Clean Energy Program can do for you. A message from the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe, and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles. Sixers. Oh, baby! Let's go!
97.3 ESPN. WEN.
Atlantic City. A town square media station serving all of South Jersey.
Welcome to the locker room. Sean Hayes, welcome to the locker room with Billy Schwein. Rich Bannon, welcome to the locker room. Great job, Mac. Referee. Greg, welcome to the locker room. We have the real track coach in the room. All right, we're back live from the Town River Auto Group studio right here at North Swine. Danny Ryan. And of course, next Sunday, we'll be at La Scala's Beach House for our Eagles pregame show. 10 to 12, and then we hang out and watch the game.
Next 3 Sundays, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
And on the 27th of October, Miss Papali will be doing the broadcast with us, and he'll be signing autographs at La Scala's Beach House from 1 to 2.
You want to miss it.
Yeah, you got to come on down. By the way, yeah.
Well, I'm over here in the studio producing.
So you're not that far from
Scala's. And at that point, I'm just looking to get home, put on football and stuff, so I go home. Yeah, kick back and relax.
All right, the Phillies. So yesterday we were breaking Mr. Met's stones real hard yesterday. We're giving him, razzing him and everything, but he comes out victorious in game 1. He's calling here to close. Tom's a remote Vikings Sports Hotline and plug him into the locker room. First of all, I caught a lot of slack, a lot of heck from people. A lot of heat from people that. Yeah, because I allowed you to speak. I know. Yeah, you know what? You didn't see yourself. Oh, we were playing the pool ball, drowning out. We just sing louder.
I can't sing louder. So listen, I could send you the words if you need them.
First of all, I'm mad at Nick Earnshaw for making me. I was not going to take that bet. I'm so mad at him.
Yeah. Well, you that's just how you roll. You're just influenced by everything around you. That's why you're a Phillies fan.
Listen to you.
That's why
you must be the loneliest. You must be the loneliest guy in South Jersey right now because you have no one to celebrate with.
Except for
you should have seen all the Mets fans that were here yesterday in at Playland.
Get out.
There was at least a dozen.
Well, that's where they were because they weren't in the stadium. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, they weren't.
Yeah, well,
we kept you losers out of the bank, the Citizens Bank Park. We kept all you loser Met fans out of there.
Yeah, we're losers. Who won?
Got lucky.
It's one game.
Not lucky.
Wait.
Lucky. No. Your coach, your manager took out.
Oh, don't start
he
that.
threw 111 pitches, Jeff.
What do you want to do? Throw his arm off?
Listen, every game is a must-win in a 5-game series.
Sure it is.
Every game. And he was lights out with the Mets. He allowed one hit, right?
Yep.
One hit.
Maybe you could have got one more inning out of him, but I would have pushed him.
You'd be lucky if you got one more batter. 111 pitches?
No.
You might need him in Game 5 if you're Rob Thompson.
You know what? You don't need a Game 5 if you win this one.
That might be true too.
That's not true at all. If you win Game 1, you still might need a Game 5.
You might. But you know what? You just lit a fire underneath the Mets, and now we know you're vulnerable in your bullpen.
He's right. They got the mojo. Look at they win a game in Milwaukee in the top of the 9th with 2 outs. Could have been Alonso's the last at bat as a Met. One swing of the bat, he propels them to the NLDS, and then they win in dramatic fashion yesterday.
I will give them, credit where credit is due. This team scares me a little bit because
their mojo was
when they had the 1-0 lead yesterday, the Phillies did. I'm thinking in the back of my mind, all right, they should be able to win with this if the bullpen does okay. But the Mets don't quit; they never say die, and that's what the Phillies had 2 years ago.
I sent Billy a text saying this game could end 1-0, Billy. This game could end. But as soon as you took out that ex-Met, I was like, oh, game's over.
You see what he just did?
Oh, by the way,
ex-Met,
the organization treated him awful.
That's right.
Did you hear about that story?
Yeah, but he also said there's no hard feelings because all the management people that did that to him are no longer.
Yeah, he's a class act. He's a professional guy, but you don't let him.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
You don't let him in the clubhouse during the World Series. You say, no, we don't want you around here. Just stick to rehab.
Right.
And he says, all right, well, can I at least watch the game from the stands? Sure, but you'll have to pay for it. And it's nothing's money.
And that's the type of team that you like, Matt.
Money isn't anything to him, but still.
Yes, it is. Well, the owner of the Mets right now is
Cohen.
Richer than that. Yeah, he's richer than the
billionaire.
Like five other owners.
Stinking Mets.
Yeah, my stinking Mets.
My sources tell me that you can't even name 5 Mets players, Mr. Met.
That is true.
Oh my God!
What a fraud!
Because I like the Mets. I don't care who's playing for him.
Oh, you can't. You're a fraud.
He's a fraud.
You can't
I'm
even
a fraud.
Can you name 3?
I'm a fraud.
Name three Mets right now off the top of your head.
Alonso.
Okay.
All right.
Pete, the polar bear.
That's Alonso.
You already got his name wrong. His name's Hair Plugs, but continue.
Go ahead, name another one.
Hair plugs. You know what? I did see those hair plugs. That is bad.
They were chanting. I started a Hair Plugs chant at the stadium yesterday.
Let them off the hook. Name 2 other. You got 2 more players to name.
Billy, I can't even remember your name.
Yeah, Just gonna go. David Wright.
Dave Kingman.
Yeah.
Tom Seaver.
Mike Piazza.
Oh, Piazza. Why couldn't they win? Why couldn't Piazza won that 2000 series against the Yankees?
We don't care.
Keith Hernandez.
All right, Mr. Met, you gloated enough. You got to get it. We don't want to. You gloated enough. We gave you enough time, but you're going to lose today.
Couldn't even name 2.
I know.
Couldn't even name 2.
No, I couldn't. I like the Mets. I don't care who's playing
just not their players.
Sorry to hear that.
Chase Utley could have played for him, and I still like the Mets.
He hates the Mets.
All right, Jeff Bowe.
Yes, he does.
You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose today. All right, you got it.
Okay.
There he is.
You want to bet on that?
No. We got the bet on the series. Go scratch.
All
right, see you, Mr. Met.
There's Mr. Met on the Tom's River Sports. I'm not gonna let him sing that song. Cut him off.
I did.
He started singing the song. You
I did.
Had to get it in there.
Yeah, I had to drop him there. I mean, he couldn't even name 2 Mets players, and you want to support the Mets in their playoff run right now? You're a joke.
He's a
Come
joke.
on.
He's a fraud.
Mr. Met, I know you're still listening. You're a fraud.
He's a fraud. That was it. That was Mr. Met on the Tom Volkswagen Sports Hotline.
I could probably name their entire starting lineup right now, every position, and he can't even name two. And I'm not a Mets fan.
So we got Sanchez against Severino today.
Severino and Sanchez, yes. Severino has turned his career around.
Yeah, he sure has.
In the other side of New York, in the Bronx, he was really bad. He was falling apart, quite frankly. He signs a prove-it deal with the Mets, and he's had one hell of a year, so it's not going to be an easy ball game.
11-7 with a 3.31 ERA. 9-1. I can't see that. My glasses aren't working.
He's been, his fastball is a plus fastball. Harper has roughed him up a little bit this season. He had the 2-homer game off of him, but still, he's not going to be an easy task today by any means.
All right, that'll conclude our Phillies talk. We gotta start talking Eagles football.
Well, we got Sixers and Flyers coming up soon too.
How about Mitchkov, man?
Mitchkov mania?
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
Mitchkov mania, baby. Sixers? Are you in on the Sixers this year?
It's too early. I'm excited. I'm really excited about what I see.
Let me ask
Paul
you this,
George and Tyrese Maxey.
Because it is very early.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that Knicks trade? They trade away Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo for Karl Anthony Towns straight up.
They got better.
I think for what they're trying to do, they got better. Like, they're going to space the floor much better. They lose a good shooter in Dante, but they get a big man who can shoot in Cat. I honestly, I think it's a net negative for both teams.
Really?
I don't think I think it was one of those trades where you just made a trade for the purpose of making
Just
it.
get a big name in the building.
Yeah, and there were rumblings that Dante DiVincenzo didn't want to be in New York anymore. He was unhappy with his new role with Mikal Bridges being traded over to New York, and he would be, essentially a bench piece. He wanted to be a starter. Right. And so he wanted out of there, but still, I think it honestly, it makes it a little worse.
I think
because think about it.
Karl Anthony Towns, maybe I'm thinking.
Now they're shopping Mitch Robinson. So who's their best defensive big? Karl Anthony Towns, and he's awful at defense. Joel Embiid would feast on him in the paint.
Right.
So in that sense, I think they got worse as far as when they're going to play the Sixers.
Maybe I just go by name recognition.
Karl Anthony flashy move. He's a good scorer. Don't get me wrong. But anyways, Eagles football, you said.
We're going to go to Eagles football on the other side.
All right.
Because we have so much to complain about there.
Yeah, we got a whole week to complain about it. Whole week till we see him again.
I want to tell you, for over 83 years, the Circle Liquor Store has offered the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits in South Jersey. It's a stone's throw away from Ocean City. It's a landmark. With a friendly staff, it's no wonder why Circle Liquors was named Best of Philly, Best of Atlantic City, with the most competitive prices around. The Circle Liquor Store is now a proud sponsor of the second hour of the locker room with Billy Schweim. Throwing a party, preparing for the big game. Let Chet and his staff make sure you have everything you need. Check out the website at circleliquors.com or give them a call at 609-927-2921. That's the Circle Liquor Store at Summers Point. They deliver. I want to tell you about John A. McCann and Associates. For all your real estate appraisal needs, call John A. McCann and Associates, 609-263-7422. Whether commercial, residential properties, for estate, tax, or financial planning, divorce, and financing, and more, the professionals at John A. McCann and Associates are licensed and ready to assist you. Give them a call, 609-263-7422. When we return, we'll talk a little Eagles football. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim and Danny Ryan right here, 97.3 ESPN.
Wake up weekday mornings from 6 to 10 a.m. with Unsportsmanlike on 97.3 ESPN with Evan Cohen, Super Bowl champion Chris Canty, and Michelle Small.
Can't wake up without it.
Brought to you by the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City.
Ocean City's real estate market is red hot. You need an agent that has the knowledge and expertise to help. Contact Ocean City's top agent, Mark Grimes. Mark has been selling real estate for 30 years in South Jersey. He can answer all your real estate questions and find you the perfect property. He's available anytime on his cell at 609-425-2042. When Philadelphia star athletes are looking for a house at the beach, they contact Mark Grimes, specializing in buying and selling vacation homes, single-family homes, condominiums, and duplexes, residential and commercial, as well as new construction projects or investment opportunities. Mark Grimes, he's your agent at the beach. Give him a call right now, 609-425-2042, or check out his website at grimes.com.
Hundreds of Volkswagens in stock and on sale. Hundreds of Mitsubishis, even 100 electric Bintelli golf carts in stock and on sale at Tom's River Auto Group. And not one a penny over sticker. Plus, Tom's River Auto has a Birds fan bonus. $500 off just for showing up in a team jersey, hat, socks, whatever. How easy is that? New or used, Tom's River's got plenty, but hurry. On sale, they're flying. Click Tom'sRiverAutoGroup.com.
How would you like to go to the 2025 Masters Golf Tournament? Go to ticksforgood.org to find out how you can win the grand prize of 2 weekend passes to the 2025 Masters, as well as plenty of other awesome prizes like Masters hat, t-shirts, and foursomes to your favorite South Jersey golf courses. Go to ticksforgood.org to learn how you can win these prizes. This sweepstakes is brought to us by our friends at Shane Orthopedics and David Scales State Farm Team.
Lenny Kravitz. Live in Atlantic City, Ovation Hall in Ocean, November 1st and Saturday, November 2nd. Get tickets now at theoceanac.com. Lenny Kravitz, the brand new album, Blue Electric Light, is available everywhere now. For more, visit LennyKravitz.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
97.3 ESPN has teamed up with Seize the Deal for incredible weekly offers from some fantastic local restaurants. Here's this week's big deal.
Get a $50 gift card, good for use at Provenza Restaurant and Event Center on Wellington Avenue in Ventnor for just $25.
This great deal is on sale now at seizethedeal.com. Hurry, chances are this deal will sell quickly. For more info on this great deal, go to seizethedeal.com.
Seizethedeal.com.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schwein on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
All right, we're back broadcasting live at the Tom's River Auto Group studio right here in Northfield. Billy Schwein, Danny Ryan. Once again, Danny, I love my Volkswagen Teos.
Oh, do you?
Oh, man, it handles great pick handles. Yeah, man, you know, safety features. I love the color. I love the I love it. It's hot.
Like I said, you see a Volkswagen with a Locker Room 97.3 sticker.
All right, listen.
Speed down the expressway.
You want a nice car? You want to see Huey or John love Volkswagen. They will set you up in a car you love, and they give me a car. They get anybody approved.
Yeah, they can teach you how to work it.
Right?
And teach anybody.
And I can work it. That's the thing. The buttons are easy to figure out.
Very nice.
All right.
Have it for a while.
And also, got to come see us at Scala's next Sunday for our Eagles pregame show. Of course, we've been giving out great giveaways.
Oh, yeah.
The first week we were there, we gave away an autographed
Brandon Graham jersey, Kelly
jersey.
Green.
By the way, how cool you were there that day that I went over to the.
Yep, I got it signed for you.
Well, I know, but no, he grabbed it. He took it up himself.
Yeah.
And then you handed it to me, but he was cool. He came over and gave me like the bro hug, that pulled me in.
Recognized
like
you.
he knew who I was.
He did, yeah.
And then he was really gracious with my daughter.
Yeah.
So I mean, Brandon Graham is such a nice guy.
Stand-up guy. The first time
Really
I ever met him was week 1 after their win in Brazil, that following Monday, and didn't even go up to him, introduce myself or anything like that. I was just going to stay out of his way, let him do it.
Right.
And he comes up to me, "What's going on, baby?" Dabs me up, unprompted. Made me feel like he knew who I was, and I'd known him for years. It was great.
I mean, you where I was sitting up in the front of there was several other people there. He came out, made sure I got my jersey signed, made sure that AG got her shirt signed. And I just thought it was really special.
He's the man.
And
always signing autographs for everybody. He doesn't stop until everyone's got some sort of autograph or
everybody's
picture.
like that.
No, they're not.
Now, what for you? What is the biggest disappointment for the Eagles right now? Because I know who it is for me.
Honestly, until last week, the defense was playing above their skis, I thought. So I'm going to go with, it seems basic. It seems like the obvious answer, but Jalen Hurts.
Yes.
Jalen Hurts.
I'm looking at the stats. He's like
it's a walking turnover.
He's 11th on the leaders board.
Mm-hmm. Scott made a great point too. I mean, the threat of him running just opens up the offense for so many other possibilities.
You don't want him running in the NFL. The more he runs, the more opportunity is
to
get hurt.
I don't mind him running. I don't want these crazy designed runs. I prefer if it's more of a, thinking on the fly, scrambling out of the pocket to either, get some time to throw the ball or gets, 7-8 yards. But if you have that threat, if you have, like Scott said, if you have a quarterback spy on him, the guy that's not in pass coverage, it opens up the offense for just so many other possibilities. And quite frankly, I tend to agree with him. I mean, if Kellen Moore's this great offensive mind, if he's this great offensive coordinator, why aren't we seeing it? Is Jalen Hurts audibling in the huddle, or is he audibling, pre-snap? What's going on? Why aren't we seeing this great offense?
Let me ask you this question: passing, the leaders in the passing yards
in all the NFL,
in all the NFL, National League, not just the National League.
NFC.
I bet you the top 3 names would surprise you.
No, I already know them.
Do you know them?
In no particular order.
Well, give me the top 5 because you look at the.
I know the top 3. I think the top 3 is Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield.
No.
Really?
I said National League.
NFC. Yeah.
Darnold's not up there.
Yes, Darnold's in the NFC. He's on the Vikings.
Yeah, but he's not in the top 3.
Really?
Yes.
He's like the top MVP candidate right now. Who is it?
You're gonna be shocked.
I won't know. Who is it?
Kirk Cousins.
He had a 500-yard passing game on Thursday.
1,373 yards. Guess who's next?
Yeah. Not Baker?
No.
Let me think. Hold on. Give me the division.
West. NFC West.
NFC West.
And this guy's career was resurrected where he's playing right now.
Not Stafford, right?
Geno Smith.
Wow. Okay.
Guess who's 3?
I don't know.
Baker Mayfield.
Okay. And I did know that.
Towards the Phillies. Towards the Eagles for 350-some yards, 2 touchdowns. You look at Jalen Hurts' his quarterback rating, 85.7.
I can't believe I have to have this conversation with you, but I have to ask this question. Say you just keep the teams the same and you swap the quarterback last Sunday. Baker Mayfield and the Eagles and Jalen Hurts on the Bucs. Who wins that game? Do the Eagles win that game with Baker Mayfield at quarterback?
So.
With how fast he was getting that ball out, do you think?
But that's the design of the offense.
Yeah, I know.
What's Kellen Moore doing?
Again,
first of all, he's got the number 3 overall rushing back in the league, but we think he's number 1.
Yeah, no,
because I don't think he's been. I think he's
with Christian McCaffrey hurt. He's number 1.
He's number 1.
Yeah.
Why don't you establish the run early? Just keep going to it because he's going to go 3 yards, 2 yards, and then he's going to, like Scott Grayson said, then he's going to bust one like he did.
Problem is, you get down 21-0 in that game.
That's the thing.
Then you don't want to run it as much.
But they went 3 and out. The first 3 the series, they went 3 and out.
Well, the other problem is too they keep deferring. I mean, your defense. Let's just be honest. It can play, pretty decent on some Sundays, but it's not a good defense at least right now.
You know who rounds out the top 5 in the NFC? I think like the next guy you'd probably think would be up there. Brock Purdy's number 4.
Okay,
and then our dreaded arch rival,
Dak.
Yeah,
Dak Prescott.
Then Goff. Then Stafford. Then Darnold.
Let me ask
then
you
Hurts.
this.
Then Jalen Daniels.
If
top 10.
the Eagles win the coin toss next Sunday against
ball.
Cleveland, defer or get the ball?
Get the ball.
I think they have
to. Take the ball and score the ball.
The defense is not good enough.
If that means you get into the red zone and something goes wrong, kick the field goal.
Yeah, take the points.
Take the points. You're going to be on the road, right? They're on the road next week?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. Let's see.
Where are they?
I'll look it up right now.
But
no, I agree with you. I mean, they are at home. They are at home.
So Jalen Hurts is our big because I think he's my biggest because it's a quarterback's league, correct? And as well as the quarterback, but I think the blame is on Kellen Moore and Jalen Hurts.
But Scott Grayson, I mean, he thinks that
the ball
Hurts is changing the play at the huddle.
Right.
Or, pre-snap.
Well, this is things we will never know as fans.
It sucks because I'd love to get to the bottom of this and truly know if Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback and certain things are holding him back. But at this point, we're now in year 2 of mediocre play. I mean, at least not year 2.
How much time does he?
About a year and a half.
How much time does he have, like with the fan base here? Because they're not going to do what they did to Trey Turner, give him a standing ovation after 3 months of misery of horrible baseball. He was slumping. They decide to give him a standing ovation. He starts. They're not going to do that for I don't think for Jalen Hurts. Because baseball's different. Baseball plays every night.
Right. If they finish around 500 this year, like 2 games
All right, let's
above.
say if they go 9-8 and don't make the playoffs or make the first round and get bumped out again.
I tend to think that Sirianni would be gone and they'd give Hurts at least like a half a year next year. But I tell you what, I would not be surprised to see both of them out of here. I mean, Howie has accepted bad decisions in the past and has eaten the money. Carson Wentz, Exhibit A.
Right.
He's willing to eat that type of money for a quarterback if it's not working out. But it's really a shame that we even have to discuss this. I mean, you're talking about probably if you had to get a new quarterback 2 years down the line, because you're not going to have a good enough pick for a good quarterback this year unless you trade up and give up a lot of assets. So I really hope he figures it out so we can just stop even entertaining this conversation. But you have to talk about it at least. I mean, if you're turning the ball over every single game, sometimes multiple times a game, and it's a clear detriment to your team and the success of your team, you have to bring it up. I mean, he's playing like a dope right now.
Special teams didn't look particularly good last week.
For the first time in a while, yeah.
Right?
They've been the one bright spot.
Missed tackles. I mean, we talked with Dave Klemick here on Saturday. We have Dave Klemick with us on Saturdays, and then he'll be with us at Lascala's.
Yep.
He was talking about players that like it, love it, and live it. Like the pros pro. These guys haven't learned that. I think that the Georgia 5 are not as good as advertised. And I'm not blaming Howie Roseman because everybody thought they were going to be great players. We haven't seen it yet. Now, maybe they're because they're not the pros pro yet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, there's some vets on this team, though. There's some vets that should know better. I mean, it's a problem. It's a really big problem when Brandon Graham at age, 35, 36, is your best defensive lineman, Billy. That can't happen. Is Bryce Huff a swing and a miss? What's going on with Bryce Huff? Is Vic Fangio holding him back with his scheme, or is it a bad signing by Howie Roseman?
Well, I saw a Baldy breakdown where he focused on Huff. They don't use him as a down lineman. They use him. He's a linebacker / rush edge rusher.
He just
right?
rushes the passer.
Well, guess where he got all his 10 sacks last year? In a 3-point stance.
Yep.
So maybe they're not using him properly.
I think honestly,
what's a coach?
He's not
Danny,
this
what's
bad.
a coach's job? A coach's job is to put you in the best situation to be not just to
maximize the talent of the players you have.
Right, not to conform the player to what you want him to do.
Right, and I honestly, I have to think is what is happening right now. I don't think he's using him right because there's no good reason why you can tell me he had 10 sacks in New York and then he comes over to Philadelphia and he can't get one. He can barely even rush the passer. He can barely even bring pressure. Not let alone a sack.
When this happens, this got to be more than just meets the eye.
Yeah.
Something's not right.
And they're screwed.
And like Scott Grayson said, like the evidence of last year is still lingering in the locker room.
There's not much other talent on that defensive line either, Billy. I mean, I agree with Scott about that too. I mean, when I see that stuff on social media, the Devin White thing, the sleigh going on,
he doesn't want to play special teams because he's above that.
It's a clown show. I mean, other teams are probably looking at us right now.
Jason Vaughn called him the Keystone Cops.
What?
Yeah, he was. By the way, I think he's pretty good breaking film down.
Jason Vaughn?
Have you ever seen him? Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Sports?
No, I haven't.
Does a great job. I love his commentary.
He owns that trampoline park.
Yeah,
in Deptford,
he does.
Right?
Yeah. But I mean, this team is underperforming. They're not playing up to their potential. I think on paper, this team's a good team.
Yeah, I mean, on
just
paper,
like the Phillies.
On paper, they should
that
win
don't
the
mean
Super Bowl.
anything. You got to get when you're between the lines. You got to play.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the more talented rosters I've seen for an Eagles squad in my lifetime. It's just something. I don't know, Billy. Do you think it's the head coach? I kind of hate blaming it on him because he seems like a scapegoat.
Let me just give you a little scenario. Well, that's right. They got to fire the head coach. They can't fire all the players.
Yeah, he seems like a scapegoat for this. If he doesn't do much of anything anymore, then why is he being blamed for everything?
Exactly. Well, here's the thing. If hypothetically, if the Eagles lose to Cleveland, in like Scott Grayson just said, the next 4 games are very winnable.
Yeah.
You got the schedule? Read them off. Cleveland.
You've got Cleveland, then you head to the Meadowlands to face the Giants.
Giants.
Then you go to Cincinnati to play the Bengals, and then you return home to face the Jaguars. Dougie P's return.
And they're horrible.
That's prime time.
So there's 4 games that are very winnable. If they don't win all 4 of those games, say they start off with Cleveland with a loss, I bet you people start calling for Sirianni, especially if they don't do it if they look horrible. Like last week, if they look anemic like they were last week.
Right.
People are going to start calling for his head.
If they look lifeless and they just are making business decisions, quote unquote business decisions out there after they go down big.
Right.
You have to make a change somewhere. And it's uncharted territory for the Eagles because they've only ever fired one head coach in the middle of a season, and it really wasn't the middle. It was the second to last game of the year. After the second to last game of the year, they fired Chip Kelly. Had Pat Shurmur be the interim head coach for one game, and then they hired Doug Peterson in the offseason. So very uncharted territory for the Eagles. I don't think they'll do it, but how could you not even at least consider it? I mean, again,
what happened in the
I don't want to blame it on him because he doesn't do much apparently, but something's going wrong.
he said that there was a couple of weeks ago when they didn't go for field goals on 3. He just, I interjected. I made the call. Blame it on me. I got to do it. And by the way, I hate that coming line. I got to do it better. Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. I got to be better.
Then be better.
Then be better. It's 4 games in. We're 2-2.
Yeah, the preseason's over. If you want to say the first 3 to 4 games was the preseason of them getting the rust off and getting familiar with each other, fine. Sorry excuse, but fine. Right. They better show it on Sunday against a bad Browns team. Decent defense, but a bad quarterback. You have to pressure him. You have to make him turn that ball over. If they don't get a turnover against the Browns, the season's a lost cause because that's one of the worst quarterbacks in the league right now.
All right. For over 83 years, the Circle Liquor Store has offered the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits in South Jersey. It's a stone's throw away from Ocean City. It's a landmark. With a friendly staff, it's no wonder why Circle Liquors was named Best of Philly, Best of Atlantic City, with the most competitive prices around. The Circle Liquor Store is now a proud sponsor of the second hour of the Locker Room with Billy Schwein. Throwing a party, preparing for the big game. Let Chet and his staff make sure you have everything you need. Check out the website at circleliquors.com or give them a call at 609-927-2921. They're in Summers Point. They deliver. Ask for Jason or Will or Chet. They do a great job down there. All right, just about, I want to tell everybody about La Scala's Beach House. We're going to be down there the next 3 Sundays in a row, the 13th, the 20th, and the 27th. And on the 27th, Vince Papali will be joining us for the broadcast and signing autographs from 1 to 2 at La Scala's Beach House. It opened last summer to rave reviews. It's your home away from home for a large selection of Italian, American, and seafood favorites, just like your grandma made. Plus, you'll love their famous pizza, daily specials, and their game day menu. Eat in or take out at La Scala's. They're located at 1400 Ocean Avenue in Brigantine. That's LaScalasBeachHouse.com. Let's eat. On the other side, we'll talk with the fantasy football guru, Brian Hartley. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schwein and Danny Ryan right here on 97.3 ESPN.
Ryan Radke here from Westwood One. Mike Golick and I are set to bring you Sunday Night Football this week from the Steel City when Justin Fields and the Steelers host Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. Dallas is 2-2, coming off a critical win over the Giants, while the Steelers look to bounce back from their first loss.
Listen to Sunday Night Football. Coverage begins at 8 p.m. on 97.3 ESPN.
Train presents The Unstoppables. Those captains of comfort, those gargantuans of the guarantee, those satisfaction savants who persevere perilously beyond probability as the raconteurs of reliability. Here's the train's heralded heroes of heating and air conditioning, those comfort kings with a tireless tenacity for total turnaround. The train comfort specialists. Just one more reason why it's hard to stop a train.
Hi, this is Joe Lenigan, owner of Lenigan Plumbing Community Cooling. Call us today for your free train system quote at 609-399-1200 or online at ocnjplumber.com. And please don't forget to ask for the military and senior discount.
Calling again, again and again, calling again, again and again. Randazzo's Pizza, Randazzo's Pizza, Randazzo's Pizza, the pizza you're gonna love. It's got the freshest taste that you'll find any place. Randazzo's Pizza, right nearby. Randazzo's Pizza, Randazzo's Pizza. It's a pizza like you've never had before. Eat it or take it home, no matter where you roam. Randazzo's Pizza, the tastiest you'll find. Randazzo's Pizza, the tastiest you'll find.
Why would you call anyone else besides Randazzo's Pizzeria and Family Restaurant, 34th and Asbury Avenue in Ocean City. Open year-round, 7 days a week, offering free delivery on the whole island and to the beach. Pizza, pasta, salads, entrees, subs, paninis, and wraps. Voted best of the shore. Call 814-1600. 814-1600.
Randazzo's Pizza, the tastiest you'll find. Randazzo's Pizza, the tastiest you'll find.
Every year, hundreds of children suffer from unintentional injuries or death due to unsecured guns. Camden County and Moms Demand Action South Jersey are asking for your help to reduce gun violence by spreading the Be Smart message.
Store guns unloaded, locked, and separate from ammunition. And talk to other parents about secure gun storage.
It's up to us to prevent these tragedies and save lives. Visit CamdenCounty.com/BeSmart to learn how we can stop gun accidents and deaths together.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper, and you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Swine on 93 ESPN. Free mobile.
All right, we're back broadcast live at the Tom's River Auto Group studio right here in Northfield. Billy Swine, Danny Ryan. Listen, the other half of the
Where's Weeds at? Probably working.
Yeah. All right. So my fantasy football. What are you doing?
I'm 2-2 in the ESPN.
Right. Here's the last 3 years. I mean, and I know it happens to everybody. It seems like it happens to me more than anybody else. I've got 3 guys on my IR. I've had to move my roster around several times, and now when everybody's hurt, then I get the other guys that I have are on a bye week.
Football gods just have it out for you, don't they?
It's all the guru's fault.
Yeah, they're targeting you.
All right.
Listen, you can't blame the guru for setting you up nicely because you text him every single Sunday.
No, I don't.
Oh, come on.
All right,
I would venture to say that you text him a lot.
Well, you can ask him.
For
All right,
fantasy football.
The fantasy football guru, Brian Hartley, is brought to you by Charlie's Bar and Restaurant in Summers Point, serving lunch, dinner, and spirits while you watch all the big games, enjoying their famous wings. Check out the full menu at charliesbar.com. Call for takeout at 609-927-FOOD. That's 609-927-3663. Meet your friends at Charlie's Bar at the shore since 44, celebrating their 80th anniversary. That's Charlie's Bar. Let's go to the Tom's River Volkswagen Sports Hotline and welcome into the locker room my fantasy football guru and yours, Brian Hartley. Good morning, Guru.
Good morning, guys. Listen, as much as I would love to take some credit for Billy, there's usually way more blame, so I'm not even going to take credit for this one because then I'd have to take a lot of the blame other times.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You don't want to take credit for Billy because his team's not very good. So.
I'm 2-2. What are you? He's 2. What are you? 2-2.
I'm 2-2,
right.
but I guarantee I'll go far.
Hey, Guru, you know what's so funny? You know the flag or the checker, the red flag that indicates they're like banged up or something, right? Questionable. Every one of my players, with the exception of C.J. Stroud and the Kraft, the tight end, are don't have, there's something wrong with everybody.
They're a bye or they're hurt.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you could be me watching this game going on right now who has Aaron Jones, who's out of the game, and has Breece Hall, who is just, it's sad. I might even have to consider benching Breece Hall at some point because he's just been so bad.
I'm right there with you.
The top fantasy running backs this year, McCaffrey hasn't played it down. Bijan Robinson really hasn't made a difference in anything. And Breece Hall really hasn't done anything. The guys to take were the guys that went in the second tier, really. Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, those are the guys that have been lighting it up, that everyone thought they might be a little older, a little banged up, and not have much tread left on those tires. But those are the guys kicking butt right now.
You're right. I mean, you look at Tony Pollard, Zach Moss, they're having pretty good fantasy seasons. And, you could have got them probably in the 6th, 7th round if you waited long enough and they fell. So,
hey Brian, hey Guru, how hard is it? Like, I'm not one to trade with people because I always think that if I make a move, I could be getting swindled because, I don't know. But do you trade a lot?
No, my leagues don't have any trading. We were in that one Playland league years ago where it just got so out of hand with ridiculous trades.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But yeah, that's a reason why the leagues that I'm in don't allow it because who is there to really evaluate whether it is a fair trade? Everyone wants to base it on, oh, the guy that's ahead of me might be getting better, and we don't want that, even though it's a fair trade for everybody. So they vote against it. It's just there's no really fair way to do it.
You can't leave it in the league's hands. You can't have veto power, and it's got to be the commissioner.
And then when you drop somebody and you go to the top thing, it says the players, and you go and what do you do? Just take the top player on that list with the most potential points to score that day?
Well, that's not necessarily the way it works. I mean, again, they have those things that are up there, but you've got to look at matchups. There's so many things that come into it. Who's the defense they're going against?
Right.
Are they getting carries? Are they going to be the guy that gets catches because somebody's out? I mean, look, you've got like the Giants this week. Neighbors is out, so a guy like Sterling Shepard might not be up high, or somebody. There's so many different things. That is just a computer generated what they think might happen.
Okay.
And you've got to be able to dig a lot deeper into those things and find some players.
Well, I'm surprised with the four kids that you have that you even have time for that.
Billy, I always make time for you. Fantasy football. I've been doing fantasy football since my kids were, I was a kid, so it's one of those things that you look forward to every fall, every Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Thursdays now. It just gets into every day of the week. You're watching stuff, and you're right. This week there are a lot of injuries, and now you've got bye weeks starting. So this is when it starts to truly get exciting with those lineups, and you got to make some decisions every week.
And of course, Guru, you started before you had these phones, and you did it all like paper sheets, right? You had to get back in the day. You were telling me how antiquated it was.
The press of Atlantic City was our big thing. We waited Monday mornings for the press to come out. I sat at the kitchen table before school. Wrote it out by hand in the beginning, eventually moved to Excel spreadsheet because Excel wasn't invented yet when we started doing this. And we passed the pamphlets out with the scores, out on Tuesday at school in the cafeteria at lunch. We sat down and everybody looked at it and found out. And, you had to call your lineup in every week. And it was before call waiting. So you'd call and you get the busy signal. You have to call back. Life is too easy now. These kids don't even understand how easy they have it.
How easy they got it. All right, Guru. It's time for your picks for Week 5 NFL.
Against the LA Rams, Geno Smith against the New York Giants, and Caleb Williams against Carolina. I think that could be a high-scoring game today. I also like Chuba Hubbard against Chicago, Kareem Hunt against the Saints, and Ramondre Stevenson against Miami Dolphins. At wide receiver, Jaden Reed against the LA Rams. A lot of guys banged up at wide receiver for Green Bay, so look for Love to be going to Reed quite often. Amari Cooper against Washington, and T. Higgins against the Baltimore Raiders. Those are my picks for Week 5 of the NFL season.
All right, I love it. Now, fantasy football guru, the Eagles played horrible last week against the Tampa Bay Bucs. In Tampa Bay, the conditions of the heat and with all the excuses we hear, but I want your assessment on what you think the Eagles, what type of team they are after 4 games in the bye week.
Well, it's exactly what you just said. The word is excuses. We've been using excuses since the second half of last season. The bottom line is they're just not playing well. Hurts is not throwing the ball well. He's missed some open guys. He seems to be a little long throwing the ball, taking a little too long and holding it. And they've just got to feed the ball. You see what happens when you give the ball to Barkley. So they've got to start feeding the ball to him a little more consistently in the beginning. Maybe work something off the play action. I know the wide receivers have been banged up. That's been an issue. The defense hasn't played all that great, but they haven't played all that terrible either. Tampa Bay is a good team. They got a lot of weapons, a lot of guys to cover. But listen, you've got teams in your own division. The Giants aren't that great. Dallas is a little banged up, and they're not playing their best. But rest assured, they probably will get better. And the Washington, that team is really surprising this year. Jaden Daniels could give them fits when they have to play them. They've got some weapons and some guys. It's going to be a long haul here. The Eagles do not have the easiest schedule. They've got some tough teams to go ahead, and they've got to figure it out, particularly offensively, because they just do not look like a cohesive team right now. So they need to get healthy. And, Hurts is really the biggest problem, I think, right now, and I'm not sure what to do.
All right, fantasy football guru, one last thing before we let you go. I know you are a Phillies fan. Terrible loss last night to the stinking New York Mets, and your boy Jeff Dowling is gloating. He calls up here. He's singing the Mets song. He thinks he's all that, a bag of chips. But how bad do you think it is for the Phillies losing Game 1? And What do you think they will do today?
Well, I made the brutal mistake of texting them the other night in the top of the ninth when they were losing to Milwaukee and said, hey, it was a great run this season, whatever. And then we all know how that happened. And, of course, I never heard the end of that. But, yeah, yesterday we had the game on here at the park. Everyone was listening to it. It was a good atmosphere. But you had that sense, 1-0, that it wasn't enough. And then, Wheeler pitched his butt off, and bullpen just really laid an egg is the best way to put it on radio.
Yeah. Brian, I was at the game yesterday.
The Phillies are playing great, and it's a best of 5. It's a short series,
right.
So they better get their head out of their butts, and they better do something today. Otherwise, we're going to be up the creek here.
The crowd needs to bring the energy for all 9 innings today. I was there yesterday, and it was really rowdy for the first 4 or 5 innings. But after that, when the bats weren't hitting, it got really tight and tense in that stadium and quiet. Like, you have to get inside this opposing pitcher's head, whoever it might be, a guy out of the bullpen or the starter. You have to make it hell for them. And it seemed like the fans just waved the white flag after the 4th or the 5th as far as intensity goes.
Well, that's exactly it. You got off to the great start with Schwarber. He gets the whole stadium going with the first at bat. And after that, it's flat. And unfortunately, in baseball, sometimes that's what happens. When you have those better pitchers, a guy like Wheeler on the mound, they're going to be low-scoring games. So they may not be the most exciting games, at least for the other team, because your pitcher is going to hold them back. But you've got to manufacture runs. Again, we're back to we can't just hit home runs to score runs, which is kind of what we've done in the past. We've got to play the small ball. Wheeler's going to go 7 innings and only give up, no runs. You can't lose that game. You're at home. It's game 1. You're right. You've got to have the energy. The fans have got to be behind the team. And yesterday, that just wasn't the way it was. I mean, I wasn't there. It was hard to tell that on the radio, but I take your word for it that it was flat. And I believe it, because that is what happens in low-scoring pitchers, those games.
Yeah.
People just kind of nervously sit in their seats.
They're at the edge of their seats.
Waiting for the shoe to drop.
I didn't even notice until it was at the 6th, and I'm like, what is going on here? I'm looking around. Nobody's standing up. Everyone's sitting down. They're all scared. I'm like, you have to bring the energy.
1-0 against the Mets, and you know that your pitcher's got 111 pitches.
Right. You have to help this team out a little bit. Oh, and by the way, Mr. Met, we had him on, 30, 45 minutes ago. He can't even name – I asked him to name, 3 Mets, 3 or 5 Mets? He couldn't even name 2.
Well, that's pretty sad. I'm going to have to give him some ribbon today.
You need to get on him.
How are you a big Mets fan and you can't name 3
He said he's just a Mets fan. He doesn't care about the players.
He said, I like the Mets. He said, I would like the Mets even if Chase Utley was on. I don't care about the players. He goes, Pete Alonso, and then he goes, Polar Bear, Pete Alonso. He said Pete Alonso twice. Yeah.
Gary Carter, Darryl Strawberry. Does he still think they play for him?
He said David Wright was his. I said David Wright, Dave Kingman.
Keith Hernandez.
All right, tell us about
Mr. Met.
Tell us about the 6th annual Jack Thomas Memorial Golf Outing at the Great Bay Country Club. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's Monday, October 28th. Are there any spots left?
There is no spots left. It's sold out after last weekend's show. It is officially sold out. So the only thing left now to take care of is beautiful weather. If it's anything like this week, it's been absolutely spectacular down here in South Jersey. So let's hope that continues throughout the month. But it's going to be a great time. We're going to have a blast that day.
All right, Fantasy Football Guru, we thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we will talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Go Phillies.
All right, go Phils. There's the Fantasy Football Guru, Brian Hartley. Is brought to you by Charlie's Bar and Restaurant, located in Summers Point, serving lunch, dinner, and spirits. Watch all the big games while enjoying their famous wings and their wedge salad. They got a wedge salad down there, Danny.
Big wedge guy?
I'm telling you, I'm going to have to stop on the way in there. On the way back, it's unbelievable. I stop in there all the time. I get the wedge. I get chicken on it, too.
Oh.
It's unbelievable.
Get chicken on the wedge.
Yeah.
First time I've
Check out the full menu at charliesbar.com or give them a call for takeout at 609-927-FOOD. That's 609-927-3663. Meet your friends at Charlie's Bar at the Shore since 44, celebrating their 80th anniversary. That's Charlie's Bar. Hey, for over 83 years, the Circle Liquor Store has offered the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits in South Jersey. It's a stone's throw away from Ocean City. It's a landmark with a friendly staff. It's no wonder why Circle Liquors was named Best of Philly, Best of Atlantic City, with the most competitive prices around. The Circle Liquor Store is now a proud sponsor of the Second Out of the Locker Room with Billy Schweim. Throwing a party, preparing for the big game? Let Chet and his staff make sure you have everything you need. Check out the website at circleliquors.com or give them a call at 609-927-2921. They deliver. Get down there and ask for Jason, Will, Chet. They do a great job down there. Tell them we said hi. Now, just about everybody in our area has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine that is run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunnick. But were you aware of their private business network they call the Legacy Club? Every month, they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia and South Jersey that attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and see it's a fit for your business, send an email to ken@jerseymanmagazine.com or give them a call at 856-912-4007 for more information. All right, when we return, we'll wrap up the show. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim and Danny Ryan right here on 97.3 ESPN.
Coming up on the next edition of the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Hey, it's Mike Gill. Coming up on Monday's show, we'll take a look back at the weekend in Game 1 and 2 of the Phillies-Mets NLDS. Plus, we'll take a look ahead as the Eagles return and they prepare for the Cleveland Browns. We'll look back at Week 5 of the NFL. All that and more live at the Fanatic Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City.
The Sports Bash, weekdays from 2 to 6 p.m. on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
Finding an electrician that is dependable, prompt, and experienced is important. Tom Jackson and Sons Electrical Service is just that. Service in Atlantic and Cape May counties for 40 years, Tom Jackson and Sons Electrical Services specializes in both commercial and residential work and provides 24-hour emergency services. No job too big and no job too small. Call Tom Jackson and Sons Electrical Services. They do it all. Call for a free estimate, 609-399-1999.
Call Tom Jackson and Sons for electrical. They're number one.
Hi, this is ex-Philadelphia Eagles tight end Ken Dunnick, and I'm the current publisher of Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine, and I'm asking you to become a Camden County police officer and help make our city a better place to live. The Camden County Police Department is now hiring for sworn officers who are going to make a difference in our community. The first year's salary for the position is $51,000. So join the effort today to be part of something bigger than yourself. Visit CamdenCountyPD.org to apply online. That's CamdenCountyPD.org. Thank you.
Rideshare. Love. Smell. So when I'm driving, I only trust new Febreze car vent clips. Now with 3 times greater scent control. Because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with new Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs.
Picking up Oscar.
Go to get your game on at the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Get in on the parlay while in the middle of a party. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screens. Go to the Gallery. Go to the Fanatic Sportsbook. Go for the win at Ocean Casino Resort. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
97.3 ESPN has teamed up with Seize the Deal for incredible weekly offers from some fantastic local restaurants. Here's this week's big deal.
Get a $50 gift card, good for use at Provenza Restaurant and Event Center on Wellington Avenue in Ventnor for just $25.
This great deal is on sale now at SeizeTheDeal.com. Hurry, chances are this deal will sell quickly. For more info on this great deal, go to SeizeTheDeal.com.
SeizeTheDeal.com.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN, the free mobile app.
All right, we're back broadcasting live at the Tom's River Auto Group studio right here in Northfield. Billy Schweim, Danny Ryan, walking on the moon. We need a giant step today, man. We need a big win today. Big win. Phillies 408 first pitch. Savarino against Sanchez.
Yeah, I'm really down, Billy. This is probably the first time I've ever panicked for this team all season. Typically, you're the one panicking over here in the locker room.
Because I saw it a long time ago.
You did. And, I saw it a little bit too. You have to have hope. You have to have hope. And this is a talented ball club. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say they have no chance today or the rest of the series. They still do. But it's just,
I think last year was the year to win. Because remember, they came back home and Arizona. They were up 3-2. They blew it.
Yeah, they did. I agree with you because now you have tougher teams in the postseason this year. The Dodgers look better in the postseason this year. Obviously, now they have Shohei Ohtani. I still think their pitching will crack. Padres are dangerous. I mean, you got a team like the Mets that are extremely dangerous. They didn't even win that many games.
No.
It's just, I thought it was wide open.
They were 10 games back at one point, I guess, in July.
Yeah. I mean, it's complete 180. Again, I mentioned it earlier in the show, but they're paying guys to be on other teams. Justin Verlander, they're paying him to be on the Astros.
Are they still paying Bobby Bonilla?
They are.
I think they're still paying Bobby Bonilla.
Yes, they are. So it's just, I'm hopeful, but I'll tell you what. I mean, this is obvious. They don't stand a chance unless these bats wake up. And I'm not talking 1 to 2 runs a game.
No.
They need to score somewhere
Danny,
around 4 or 5 runs a game.
All year long, it's either been 6-0, 7-0, 9-10-3.
All right.
It's feast or famine.
So in your heart of hearts, in your gut, don't let your panic take over here. What do you think's going to happen today?
I think they win the game today.
You think so?
I do.
And how do you think the offense does?
I think
close game.
I think they win the game 7-4.
7-4.
And they score. I think they score first.
Are the shadows going to bother them again and make it hard to see the baseball? If I hear shadows one more time, I'm going to lose it.
Yeah, I don't like that excuse.
I mean, I get it. It affects you. Don't get me wrong. But, Kyle Schwarber had success, and then once the shadows go away eventually in this game, they'll probably be gone by like the 6 or 7.
Where Nemo went up to the plate, and then Nemo, what did I say, Nemo?
Yeah, Nemo.
Finding Nemo. Nemo, he goes up to and he called the bat boy to get him his glasses.
Yeah, I mean, it's affecting both teams. And maybe that was part of the reason why Wheeler was so dominant yesterday, And same thing with Maeda. Or, I'm sorry, not Maeda. Same thing with Kodai Senga. So, I'll tell you what, Billy. I hope they win. My gut tells me they lose today. My gut tells me Sanchez doesn't have it.
If they lose today, man, it's
over.
Shouting.
It's over. Let's go Eagles, I guess. They're a lost cause. Let's go Sixers. Mitchkov mania.
How about Mitchkov? By the way, once again, a class act by the Flyers, inviting Guy Gaudreau to be a part of the Well, his name is Gay. It's Gay.
Oh, it's Gay?
Yeah, it's Gay.
Spelled Guy, though, right?
Spelled Guy.
Gotcha.
Guy Gaudreau is invited to be a coach. Yeah. I think that is such a nice gesture by Tortorella and the Flyers organization.
Yeah.
To get him involved and get him, because I have a friend of mine that had a tragedy. And you got to try to help him any way you can, and that's a perfect way.
No, it's a class act move by the Flyers, and specifically John Tortorella. I mean, for a guy who's a little rough around the edges.
It might inspire the players, too.
It might.
It could very well.
I hope they keep him around all year long.
They
I really
should.
do. It's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to be detrimental to the team.
What are your expectations for the Flyers this year?
I think it'll be similar to last year. I think they'll be probably.
I need to see them make the playoffs.
I don't think they'll make the playoffs.
I think they will.
I don't know. It's just the goalie situation is.
But they didn't have Russellani last year.
Yeah,
they could have had him. It could have been a 1 or 2 game difference.
I just think the goalie situation is way too.
Erson's all right.
It's too fluid right now. I mean, he's okay.
He'll get 30, 40 starts.
He's okay, but he's no Carter Hart. They need, they had their goalie for the future. They had their goalie probably for the next decade.
That ship is sailed.
Yeah, it sailed to Canada where he's not allowed to leave.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Wow, man. Outstanding radio. As always, good time spending it with you on a Sunday.
Likewise.
Talking sports. You got to come to La Scala's.
Yeah.
Next Sunday, we'll be at La Scala's Beach House for our Eagles pregame show on Sunday, the 13th.
You know what it is? I don't want to have, bruise and then have to get on the road. You know what I mean? But I'll have to set aside a day. I have 3 Sundays coming up.
Come down and eat something.
I'll come down eventually.
Ryan's down there. Chris. They put on there's tons of people. Great place to watch the game.
The whole crew, Mr. Negadelphia, Nick's Nuggets,
everybody's
Leedsy,
all right.
Clem M.
Thanks for making the locker room part of your Sunday, because nothing could be finer than talking sports with the Schweiner. Phillies, 4:08 first pitch against the stinking Mets. Let's go Phillies. And I'll see you next week right here on 97.3.
The preceding program was paid for by The Locker Room with Billy Schweiner.